This is HD Ingles. It's almost Thanksgiving, and a week from tomorrow sort of starts off the season, which staves off a little bit of the start of the winter doldrums, Thanksgiving and the Christmas season, and that everybody tries to be happy. Well, this little story I'm going to tell you today is not a Christmas story. It's not a Thanksgiving story. It's what I would call a heartwarming story. That's the best I can do. It's a nice story. Okay. Now, this happened, if I remember, I can't remember absolutely, but I would guess somewhere around 74 or 75, or it's 19. That is, wasn't my age. I was at the time about 35, maybe 34. I don't know, but around there sometime. Now, I was working for IBM. I had a tendency to come in a little bit late because I hated getting up early, but not real late, 9 or so. But I always worked late. So I put in my 40 hours a week plus probably 10. I usually work till 7, maybe even 8, just about every night, with the possible exception of Friday. Well, I was the only one around. Everyone else had gone, which is great for me because nobody bothered me. At any rate, somewhere around 7 or 8, a cleaning crew came through. And a guy started cleaning my room, my little office, 8 by 10, shared. Whoopee. He was a nice guy. At first, and I have to tell you, as a black man, I say that just because it adds to the story. He was probably my age, maybe a year or two older, 35-ish, I don't know, but around there. Well, he was a real nice guy and very pleasant man. Wasn't a couple people would come in the office to just sort of do a job and grumble. Well, this guy didn't. He did everything right, and he was very pleasant. So we started talking a little. Hello, how are you? Yeah, for a minute. Then after not too long a period, we started having little conversations, and we got to know each other. He told me about his family. I told him about mine, that type of thing. Nothing really earth-shaking. Well, he was married with a couple of children, and he also had a full-time job in the day, which probably, to be honest with you, I don't know, but probably not much better job than what he had in the evenings. I doubt if he made a lot of money, but he always seemed to work to better his family, to get as much as he could with what he had. I have no idea about his childhood. We never discussed that, but something tells me it wasn't an easy one. And something tells me that at the age of 35, most of the things he had gone through in life weren't that easy. Well, one day we were talking, and he told me that he'd been trying to get a job with IBM for 2 years. So that means the man's been looking all over the place to improve himself. And for 2 years, he's been trying to hire on to IBM. That shows, hell, I don't know how to say it, tenacity to improve himself, which is a wonderful trait in anybody. Well, one day he came into my office, all smiles. And he said, "You won't be seeing me again." I said, "Why?" He said, "On Monday morning, I start as an IBM guard." Wonderful. At the time, I don't know about IBM now, but at the time, the way they treated their employees at all levels, the benefits were wonderful. Probably one of the, possibly the best company at the time in the world to work for. Anyway, he started his job as the guard. He really did persevere and get ahead. Now, a lot of people say a job is a guard. Well, I'm telling you, honey, it depends on where you start and what you have to work with. I don't look down on any job. I didn't look down on the job he did when he was cleaning because he did it well at the best of his abilities. And I was sure he's going to do the same thing as an IBM guard. Well, at any rate, I lost track of him. But IBM at the Research Triangle Park in North Carolina was having a lot of people. Pretty easy not to see somebody. Okay, now, all the buildings at IBM, walls all over the place down the hallways, there were bulletin boards, and they showed the pictures of new promotions over the site. Well, about 10 years went by. I hadn't seen the fella. And I was walking down, I glanced at the bulletin board, and bigger than life, there was a picture of him. He was promoted to the manager of guards at IBM. I couldn't have been happier. It made my day. Hell, it made my week. Such a fine man. Worked so hard to get where he was, to improve his family, to just improve life in general for himself. I really admired him. To go from God only knows what kind of a childhood to doing a string of not such hot jobs, to becoming a manager a guard at IBM, and then within about 10 years becoming a manager. That's a hell of a leap for a man. I just had all the admiration in the world for that fella. I never saw him again in my life, but I thought about him frequently. As a matter of fact, I thought about him the other day, and that's why I'm telling you this. I just love to see that when a man works and strives to start from nowhere and ends up with a fairly important position. I'm telling you, a manager at IBM, regardless of the level of management, is a damned responsible job. So that's all I had to tell you. I just thought it was one of those stories that people should know about because, well, just because. So I guess I'll have to leave it there because I don't want to bore you for too much longer. So I'll say goodbye and see you next time.